What if I told you that every night when you look up at the sky, you're missing something extraordinary, something so mind-blowing, so absolutely game-changing that it would transform life on Earth in ways you never imagined? Imagine stepping outside tonight and seeing not one, but two moons hanging in the darkness above you. One familiar, one alien, both pulling at our planet with forces that would reshape everything we know about life on Earth. This isn't science fiction. This is science fact, and what would happen would be more terrifying and beautiful than you could ever imagine. Let's create our scenario. Imagine a second moon, roughly the same size as our current one, orbiting Earth at about half the distance. We'll call it Luna 2. This isn't just fantasy. Astrophysicist Neil Commons from the University of Maine has calculated exactly what would happen, and the results are absolutely staggering. Our current moon formed 4.5 billion years ago when a Mars-sized object slammed into Earth. The debris eventually coalesced into the moon we know today. But what if that collision had created two moons instead of one? Luna 2 would complete its orbit in just 10 days compared to our moon's 29.5-day cycle. That means you'd see it go through all its phases, new moon to full moon and back, in just over a week. But the real changes would be far more dramatic than just having a faster lunar calendar, because two moons means two gravitational forces, and that's where things get absolutely insane. Right now, our single moon creates tides that rise and fall about 3 feet on average. But with two moons, hold on to your life jackets. Dr. Cummins calculated that tides would be 8 times higher than what we experience today. We're talking about tidal waves up to 24 feet high, twice a day, every single day. But it gets worse. Much worse. When both moons align on the same side of Earth, the combined gravitational pull could create tides over 1 kilometer high. That's 3,280 feet of water rushing inland. Every coastal city on Earth would be uninhabitable. New York, London, Tokyo, Sydney, all underwater twice a day. The geography of our planet would be completely unrecognizable. Rivers would become tidal highways, with massive walls of water called tidal bores rushing upstream for hundreds of miles. The Amazon River would become a twice-daily tsunami. But the ocean chaos is just the beginning, because two moons don't just affect water, they affect the solid Earth itself. The Earth's crust would be under constant stress from the competing gravitational forces. Imagine the planet being squeezed and stretched like a stress ball, twice a day, every day. Earthquakes would be constant, not occasional disasters, but daily occurrences as the planet's surface buckles under the dual gravitational assault. Volcanic activity would increase dramatically. The constant flexing of the Earth's crust would create friction deep underground, melting rock and forcing magma to the surface. Dr. Elena Rodriguez from the Geological Survey Institute estimates that volcanic activity would increase by 400%. The ring of fire would become a literal ring of constant eruption. Mountain ranges would be constantly shifting. The Himalayas, the Rockies, the Andes, all in constant motion as the planet reshapes itself under the dual lunar influence. But perhaps the most shocking change would be what happens to the night sky itself. Imagine stepping outside on a night when both moons are full. The combined light would be 5 times brighter than our current full moon. Bright enough to read a book without any artificial lighting. But the beauty would come with a price. Nocturnal animals would be completely disrupted. Predator-prey relationships that evolved over millions of years would collapse overnight. Sea turtles navigate by moonlight to find beaches for nesting. With two moons creating conflicting light sources, entire species could become extinct within a generation. Solar eclipses would become monthly events. Every time Luna 2 passes between Earth and the Sun, we'd experience darkness in the middle of the day. But these wouldn't be the gentle, awe-inspiring eclipses we know today. Luna 2's shadow would be twice as large, plunging vast areas into darkness for extended periods. And if Luna 2 had an elliptical orbit, the gravitational stress would turn it into something truly alien. Just like Jupiter's moon Io, Luna 2 would be constantly stretched and compressed by Earth's gravity. This tidal heating would turn our second moon into a volcanic hellscape. Massive volcanoes would erupt continuously across Luna 2's surface, shooting lava and debris into space. Some of this material would escape the moon's gravity entirely. That volcanic debris would create the most spectacular meteor showers in human history. Every night, the sky would be filled with shooting stars as Luna 2's volcanic ejecta burns up in our atmosphere. But not all of it would burn up. Larger chunks would survive the journey, creating a constant bombardment of meteorites. The impact craters would accumulate so quickly that Earth's surface would be pockmarked like the moon. Dr. Sarah Chen from the Planetary Science Institute calculated that we'd experience roughly 100 times more meteorite impacts than we do today. Every major city would need underground shelters. And all of this is assuming the two moons could coexist peacefully. But the laws of physics have other plans. Here's the terrifying truth. Two moons orbiting Earth would be fundamentally unstable. The complex gravitational interactions would doom them to an eventual collision. Our current moon is slowly moving away from Earth at about 1.5 inches per year, but Luna 2, being closer, would be affected differently by tidal forces. Computer simulations show that within 10 to 100 million years, the two moons would spiral into each other in a catastrophic collision visible from Earth. In the weeks leading up to the collision, both moons would be torn apart by each other's gravity. Massive cracks would appear across their surfaces, glowing with molten lava. The final collision would be the most spectacular event in human history. Two worlds, each the size of our moon, smashing together at thousands of miles per hour. The debris from this collision would form a ring around Earth like Saturn's rings, but made of rock and metal instead of ice. For thousands of years, Earth would have a beautiful but deadly ring system. Eventually, this ring would coalesce back into a single moon, but the process would take millions of years, and the constant rain of debris would make Earth's surface uninhabitable. But let's imagine humanity somehow survived in this chaotic world. How would civilization adapt to life with two moons? All major cities would have to be built inland, on high ground, or on massive floating platforms that could ride out the extreme tides. Agriculture would be revolutionized. Coastal farming would be impossible, but the constant tidal action might create incredibly fertile inland areas, as nutrients are carried far from the oceans. Our calendar system would be completely different. Instead of months based on a single lunar cycle, we'd have complex overlapping cycles from both moons. Navigation would be an art form. Sailors would need to calculate the combined effects of two moons to predict tides and safe passage times. But perhaps most importantly, humanity would develop a completely different relationship with the cosmos. Every night, we'd be reminded that we live in a dynamic, ever-changing universe where celestial mechanics directly impact daily life. So, what do you think? Would the spectacular beauty of two moons be worth the constant chaos and danger? Would humanity be stronger for having to adapt to such extreme conditions? The truth is, our single moon has been the perfect companion for Earth. It stabilizes our rotation, creates gentle tides that may have helped life emerge from the oceans, and gives us a reliable celestial timekeeper. Sometimes, one is exactly the right number. Our moon isn't just a light in the sky. It's the reason life on Earth exists as we know it. If this video made you appreciate our single moon, make sure to subscribe for more mind-bending explorations of how different our world could be. And check out our next video where we explore what would happen if Earth had no moon at all. Sometimes the universe gets it exactly right the first time.